JordanMaxwell.com is the website. Jordan, did you get a big response when you came on the show Monday?
Oh, did I ever? Yeah, thank you very much for that. That's just tremendous outpouring, and I appreciate everybody. That was one of the things I wanted to say, that I cannot get back to everyone, who has emailed and called me, because I'm just inundated with emails. But I really appreciate everybody and everything that everyone has been saying. So I thank everybody for that.
Well, you were telling me during the break that it may have been the biggest response you ever got in radio?
Yeah, it very well could be the biggest response I've ever received, because, and my website, I guess, went down about 3 different times, and my webman is very good at taking care of those problems, but he just couldn't keep up with it because it kept going down. And so we've had to go to a new server, that can take that kind of a hit, because I got a tremendous amount of hits on the web, on the website. So hopefully that won't happen anymore. And of course, I've had problems with with actually being shut down by NSA, and security police have shut my site down on occasions and really destroyed my email. But that was done a few years ago, back in 2005. So I think the problems I had with your program was the fact that it just had so many hits. And so I think that's been taken care of. We got a bigger server now.
Good. Jordan, I want you in the next hour and 50 minutes to talk about any subjects you want, but and first do that. But I want to get more into the globalist master plan, more of what drives them, what the world will look like if they have their way. Expand on your 50 years of research. You're saying that you believe they are trying to mutate humanity, and now they even say that in declassified documents, 2 species. So I want to get into that as soon as possible, and then the more into the Teutonic system and the rest of it. But first off, anything Jordan Maxwell wants to talk about, anything you think's important that this huge audience needs to hear?
Well, I appreciate that. I really thank you for the opportunity of getting some things off my chest that's been bothering me for a long time. First of all, I get a lot of phone calls and emails from people who say, I sent you an email and you didn't answer. I called you, but you didn't call me back. I get anywhere from 50 to 60 phone calls a day, and I get like 200 or 300 emails a day, every day, so it's like 1,500 a week. I live by myself with my brother in 2 rooms, and I don't have a secretary. I don't have, a big background of people to help me get out emails and, correspond with people. It's just me, by myself. I don't have a secretary. I don't have anybody to answer emails, and I'm almost 70 years old. I don't type to start with, and I don't know that much about computers to begin with. So, and then I get a lot of people saying, well, did you get this email? Did you get this picture I sent? Yeah, I get tons of stuff every day, continually. But I don't have the ability to get back to everyone.
Well, because you brought this up, let me say something about it, because this is one of the few, areas where we can, say we've experienced the exact same thing. People will get mad.
Yeah, I know.
And I get thousands of emails a day that I don't respond, and they want a personal relationship with you, and then they become your enemy because you can't respond, and they need to realize and be adults that Jordan does read what you're sending and does look at it, but he barely has time for that. At least, I'm speaking for you, but in my case, somebody looks at it, somebody reads it. But there's so much of it that we could never respond to it all unless it was an automatic, response email back, and that's what the politicians do. And Jordan's a sensitive, nice, intelligent fella, and I can tell it hurts his feelings when that happens. But the public is getting more and more crass, myself included.
No doubt about it.
Less and less gentlemanly. You're very gentlemanly. I'm probably not to some extent. We're becoming more and more ogre-like. And so a gentleman like you, I think, it's frustrating, but you just got to get a thicker skin, Jordan, because, it's not going to stop.
Well, I know. I try and answer everybody, but like I said, most people don't know, and I don't mind putting myself on the line, and I'm not trying to present myself to the world as anything but who I am. I live with my brother in 2 rooms with no shower. I just live by myself. I don't have anybody here to help me do anything, and I've been very, very sick for a long time. My brother is even sicker than I am. And so I get, like I said, hundreds of emails a day from all over the world. And another thing is that people email me, but they don't tell me where they are emailing from. I don't want a particular address, but I would like to know what country or what state or what city, because I get emails from all over the world, but, it could be from down the street or it could be in South Africa. I don't know. And so I would like to know where emails are coming from, and I like for people to know that I read everything. I sit here for hours and go through all the emails, and on occasions I'll even answer them if I feel it's important, and that I do that. I'll try and answer them, but, hundreds a day with no help. It's just very difficult. And yes, I get people actually threatening that we all. And here's another problem: people will go out and buy a video of mine, and then they reproduce it and put it out on the market under a different name, and begin selling it all over the world. And then I get emails and phone calls from people saying, "Where is the product I ordered? We're going to report you to the authorities. We're going to report you to Better Business Bureau."
Yeah, we have that all the time. Is that that's the nature of all this, where people will mail in bootleg copies of my films, demanding more copies or something. But Jordan, again, I'm happy to air all this here on air, but I just don't think, it's kind of like the Dutch boy trying to hold back the flood.
Yeah, I think you're right. I know it just bothers me terrible that people assume that I don't care and just assume that I am not answering them. And one guy wrote me and said, "You're obviously not answering me because I have a Jewish last name." I mean, that's ludicrous. And so, I'm just voicing my concern. Of course, on the other hand, I want to also talk about the fact of what I believe about God, because Lord knows there's so much out there, pro and con, about me concerning my faith. First of all, I am not anti-God. I'm not anti-Christ. I'm not anti-anything. I have a highest of respect for what we would refer to as God. I believe, and my belief about God is that there is a very powerful divine spirit in the universe. And that spirit is wise, intelligent, and powerful, and I have the highest of respect and honor for the superior spirit in the universe. So in that way, I have a very high regard for God and for truth and for spirit. But I'm also intellectually aware that God is simply a word in English that can be translated different ways, and God is, like I always say, God is simply dog spelled backwards.
And then men claim that they own that thing called God, and then claim you've got to follow them and make themselves God. And I see that everywhere. They claim you're an atheist. They claim you believe in this and that. And I know Jordan Maxwell. I've interviewed him many times and read and seen his work. That's not what he's saying. He's saying that what you're told is Christianity, what you're told are these different religions, is really just a repackaging of this mystery school.
That's exactly right. And consequently, I have the highest of regard for, and I've got over 40 Bibles in my collection. I'm a student of theology. I've loved theology, especially the New Testament, and I believe that the Bible, especially the New Testament, is just jam-packed with wisdom and knowledge and understanding. I have no problem with anything that Jesus is reputed to have said or is recorded to have said. I live by those principles. All I'm saying is that there is a whole world of occult or hidden knowledge which most people are not privy to even know exist, which I have studied all of my life. And so I look at things differently. I look at where it was written, what culture wrote it, where it originally came from, the etymology of the words. So I have the highest of regard for spirituality and for what is written in the Bible, the words of Jesus. I live by those. So I'm not anti-God. I'm not anti-Semitic.
But you want to tell people that outside of Baptist Church, a steeple is a phallic symbol and is not worshiping the God you're told.
That's exactly right.
And most of those Masonic preachers know that, and it's a big joke to them, isn't it, Jordan?
It is, and I've sat with rabbis, I've sat with priests, because